That one really strikes a nerve with me. And actually, I was a huge NFL fan.
Yeah.
I loved NFL. We used to watch that.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched it since all that nonsense went on. And it's like, to me, how can you – honestly, it's kind of the whole – how can you be out there making millions of dollars and your complaint is that you're oppressed?
Right. Yeah, there is a lot of that I thought in the NFL was handled inappropriately. And I felt fortunate, at least I'm a Chiefs fan. I felt fortunate that I felt like Clark Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs, and the organization itself, they didn't go crazy with it.
See, but
the only player that kneeled during that year didn't even play for the Chiefs the following year.
You are the perfect example, though, of somebody that likes something too much.
Yeah.
That they'll come up with excuses of why not to.
Right.
My dad is a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
And he was able to quit watching for a little while, and then he was right back to it. And, man, it was hard for me. And but I don't know. Like, I've seen all of them, and the Chiefs, too. They all played the bullshit. Andy Reid went out there and did some stupid shit, and they all did their thing. And then he even did I can't remember because it's been so many years ago now. But, I mean, I think anybody, when they care enough about something, will try to find reasons why, well, this wasn't quite as bad. And I don't know. And maybe I'm more getting to that point now because used to, I would just cold turkey. I'm like, done. Dude, when Nike did all that bullshit, I had probably thousands of dollars worth of Nike stuff.
Yeah.
Like before our YouTube channel and before I was doing that stuff, like, man, I had a buying addiction. I would buy, new shoes all the time. I had closets full of I was like a girl with all the clothes and shoes that I had. Most of it was Nike.
Yeah.
And, man, I'm like cold turkey. Just quit buying Nike, quit wearing Nike.
Right.
Switched over to Adidas, and it's like, and then I went down this rabbit hole of like pretty much everything that you do at some point or another, they're going to disappoint you with something they put out. And to me, it's like, just quit putting shit out. Like, you're a company. I don't need to get on your company page and see, your personal beliefs of what's probably just the personal belief of your social media marketing person.
Right. It's your marketing staff and maybe your executives have agreed with it. For me, the Black Lives Matter stuff didn't bother me a ton. I agreed that there was some of the stuff that was mishandled, and I feel like that, by a lot of people.
Well, for me, it wasn't necessarily the Black Lives Matter thing. It was the fact that, like, there's one time in a football game when everybody stands in solidarity together. And that's for the country that you are stepping on when you're kneeling there. There's a guy sitting to your right with his legs fucking blown off because he was fighting for your stupid ass's freedom so you can kneel right at his, at his feet. And so that's what really got me fired up about it. It had nothing to even do. Honestly, I didn't even know what it was about when it first started happening. Colin Kaepernick was doing this Black Lives Matter stuff. I just saw a guy kneeling for to me, it's like, it's just an unappreciative person that doesn't care about the country that's made him what he is.
Yeah. He was raised by white parents and was oppressed because he was a multi-millionaire athlete
he looks like
just wasn't talented.
Spoiled baby to me is what he looks like.
It came down to it that he ran out of talent.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing that happens to a lot of people, but he just ran out. But so like, and I understand the Nike thing. My dad stopped buying Nikes and stuff too. I still have Nikes. I didn't burn and throw all my stuff away, but but that's kind of the fun thing. It's like I told my dad, and you've said similar, like, support and buy the stuff you want to buy, and don't buy it if you don't want to buy it, and just move on with it. And that's kind of where I was with it, and it's like, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, and I don't know necessarily even if that. I mean, I don't know where that gets us, just because. I don't know. I don't think enough people do that for it to matter for the most part. But it is funny how people will get on the train of something though that they do believe in. Like that I think it was Whole Foods or some company. They came out as this conservative company or whatever.
Yeah.
And like they were selling so much food. It was just like going through the roof there for a while. Yeah. So I think a lot of people will kind of go that way. But at the end of the day, I just feel like there's so much population, it doesn't really matter. There's such a supply and demand issue also.
Well, and that's the problem with, like, so we'll use Nike as the example. I have weird shaped feet or for whatever. They're a little bit wide, but Nikes fit me comfortably where they don't ruin my feet, where almost every other pair of shoes, because I have multiple colors and sizes and whatever, the different brands and all that. And none of them do I like as much as the Nike. And that's why I'm like, I'm going to take care of my feet.
Have you given it like a EQT Adidas a good shot?
Because I've tried a few Adidas, but not that one specifically.
Man, they're a little more expensive. They're called EQTs, but
Mahomes is sponsored by Adidas.
Oh, really? I like Mahomes. All right. Yeah. I just, man, I don't know. I just can't get behind the NFL is so screwed up now, man.
Oh, well, like perfect example. So I know you don't follow the football probably. There's a guy who is on the Chiefs team, got in a domestic abuse situation with his like baby mama, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm summarizing. So for anyone's watching that is a Chiefs fan, they're gonna be like, I said it wrong. You'll get over it. He was in an argument with her at like visiting his kid and broke the vacuum. Less than $1,000. He got arrested, spent a night in jail. Basically the courts just said, hey, you just need to replace the vacuum, replace anything you broke, and move on with it. Like that was the end of it. The NFL just suspended him 4 games. Deshaun Watson had 20+ sexual assault allegations, and he initially only got a 6-game suspension, and then they changed that to an 11-game suspension. It's like he broke a vacuum worth a few $100s.
Yeah.
And some of this other stuff, and it's like he settled all of this stuff. How much money did he settle with? Well, it's all private. We can't share that. Or, like you see all this crazy stuff, and it's like the NFL is just, it's got a PR problem.
Let me tell you the way I feel about that, and this may be an unpopular opinion. But I feel like you didn't hire him because he was a good husband. You didn't hire him because he was a good boyfriend.
Right.
Stay out of people's personal lives.
Yeah.
And if he's doing his job on the field, I don't care if you suspend him, fire him. If you decide that there's just a conflict of character and you want to fire him, fire him.
I mean, that's basically why the Chiefs let go Hunt.
Don't try to punish people at work because they may have gotten in trouble outside of work. Like, and I've always felt that way. Like, I think it was, who was it, Rice, or somebody punched his girlfriend on the elevator.
Yeah, Rice.
Yeah. Back even whenever that was going on, like, in my opinion, was always super unpopular.
Right.
And it's honestly, it's kind of the same thing about presidents. I feel the same way. Like the thing with Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really give a shit. If the guy's doing a good job, which, he wasn't.
Right.
But if the guy's doing a good job,
he did a pretty good job.
I don't know,
about
man.
It.
Like the stuff, the deals he made with China,
that's true,
are a lot of the problems that we are in now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like our manufacturing has gone to shit because
in Mexico and Canada and all of that stuff too is part of a lot of that.
Why do the Democrats keep selling it to China? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Why are they so obsessed with making bad deals with China?
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's what. And I agree, and I agree with that to a lot of extent. I know people have been like, "Oh, if I did that, my job would be fired for what? My job can't fire me for that. That's wrongful termination. Like they get in my business. Like if I get arrested and I spend multiple days in jail and I miss work and all, they can fire me then. But like most of the stuff like that these guys are getting in trouble for, and they're getting punishment for it. They're serving time. They're doing these things, but they're role models. It's like, honestly,
you know what? The Kansas City Chiefs have no good record of having good role models on their team.
Right.
The Kansas City Chiefs has been littered with troublemakers since like I can remember last. And there's always somebody in and out of jail or some kind of problem with the Kansas City.
And
Chiefs
I feel like that's every football team. Like every one of them's going to have guys that are going in and out of jail. And like, who decided that just because somebody was good with a football in their hands that they should be everybody's role model? Like how did they grow up? Where did they live? And how did things go for them? Like a lot of these guys grew up and they fought to survive. Like, so when they get millions of dollars in their hands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in their hands, they're probably going to make dumb decisions.
Yeah.
The NFL started something where they're supposed to be helping people, like a few years ago. Well, this is how you manage your finances. This is how you do stuff. It's like, but there's still guys going out and they're blowing their entire paycheck on jewelry and cars and necklaces. And then they get out of the NFL in 2 or 3 years because that's the average length that someone makes it.
I heard somebody talk about this one time, and I can't remember what they chalked it up to, but it was a good answer to it, why they spend the money on the things that they do. And I don't know if it's coming from poverty or if it's I don't know, a background thing, culture. I have no idea, but it's true, man. They'll spend all this money on these really stupid things, and I don't really know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's everybody's money. They can do whatever the hell they want with it.
Right.
I guess that's the best way to feel
It's like
about it.
if they want to be bankrupt in a few years and that's their business, then you got guys that are like Gronkowski, and there's a handful of other guys that didn't spend a single dime from their contracts. And they're like, oh, yeah, all the money that I spend's been from commercials. And it's like, yeah, that's why he's in multiple commercials, because he's like, hey, man, I need some spending money.
Yeah, you can tell the people that do it right. I mean, look at the Manning brothers.
Yeah.
Both of those guys have been, just career geniuses. And
yeah.
And Tom Brady's still doing it. The guy's doing all kinds of deals on the side on top of, the money he's still making in the NFL. And
right.
So,
I mean, like, what point in life are we that, these guys make low money as quarterbacks, 25 million a year, and you can't survive? Like, I can live multiple lifetimes on 25 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and there's always been people that, look at Michael Jordan.
Right.
There's always been people, Shaq. There's always been people that made good decisions. But there's one person making a good decision, there's probably 10 or 15 on the other making the wrong ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and that was tough for me because, like I said, man, we watched NFL we were St. Louis.
Yeah,
Rams
that had to
fan.
be tough.
It was hard. I've got a signed, my favorite player signed helmet, and I bought the new jersey every year just to support my player.
Yeah.
So man, it was a big deal. But
yeah,
that's still something I've just never gone back to because they've never really owned it.
Yeah,
they've never really owned it. It's like, oh well, we'll change things now.
Right?
Are they even when a game starts? Do they play the national anthem?
Yeah.
Do they play it televised?
No. Well, yeah. Sometimes they do. Okay. I don't know if they do it every time, but I know sometimes they do.
Yeah, to me that's kind of a big deal, man.
Yeah.
If you're in Springfield,
NASCAR, I feel like sometimes they don't even play the national anthem.
Well, I don't give a shit about NASCAR. Who does?
It's gone downhill pretty fast here lately, I think, fan wise.
I don't know, man. I've seen a few of those, and it's like you got Danica Patrick ramming people and wrecking people and making a big scene.
I don't think she's in NASCAR anymore.
That's probably the last time I watched it.
Yeah, I think she left a couple of years. She was.
Who the hell wants to sit there and watch a car go in circle? Though?
So in person, it was all right, but yeah, I hardly. I
don't
know
the only reason it's all right in
races.
Person is because you can go get food. Just fucking
and
eat.
the noise. So you get the noise and the engines and other than that, like it's. Yeah. If you go to,
we can turn some loud noise on your headphones and get you a hot dog.
Yeah, there we go.
Try to make you more comfortable here.
Charge me $20 for a hot dog while we're at it,
that to me, it would be cool for like 10 minutes. And it's like,
it's like, okay. Well, see, and I haven't been to a race in a while. Like Jeff Gordon was still racing the last time I went to a race. And like, they don't allow people to wreck anymore. It's turned into Formula One, It's
oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like they've made and the new cars have actually caused a lot of wrecks. I guess I see stuff about it. I don't really watch them, but like they made the cars so strict and they've made so many rules that like.
Are they still hanging people in garages?
No, I don't think they do that anymore. I think that was just a one. Oh wait, yeah, it was just the garage door handle. Yeah, someone tied it and. Yeah. He thought it looked like
a noose big enough for like a squirrel, Yeah,
it's like, isn't everybody's garage door look like that? All the garage doors I had as a kid, like.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like, where are we going with this stuff?